This, my friends, is where they do the bullfights and stuff. I came into town and decided I would walk the section of the Camino that was my first day of the Camino back in 2021.
Once upon a time, I walked the earth in someone else's shoes.
Paseo de Hemingway. There is the man himself. I'm assuming that's a matador. Plaza de Torres, Pamplona, Eruña. Very lovely along here. San Fermin's coming, so I should have worn my white with the red scarf. This is Calle San Nicolas. The place where I stayed is right up here. Oh, I think I'm passing it. Hotel. Stepped right out here on an early Saturday morning in September. Sky's starting to get a little bit light, and we walked that way. St. Francis, of course. St. Francisco, the patron saint of Pamplona. You go straight up here and connect the Camino, but I am going to go this way, which angles up. If you've watched my videos, you may remember this shot, albeit early morning before there's much light. When I was here in September 2021, I treated the moment I stepped on the Camino proper as an almost spiritual thing, like when Moonlight Graham steps off the ball field in Field of Dreams. El Camino de Santiago. Now officially on the Camino, and it is so cool. Look, I already got the romantic grin in my face. There are a group of people in yellow shirts walking. It looks like they're coming back this way. It's a lot easier when you're not carrying a backpack that's way too heavy. So this is the Camino. It goes on up into the park. I'm not sure what the marathon is today. Marcha contra... Oh, they're walking for cancer. If you watched the video, especially if you watched the documentary, I do a shot up here where I'm wearing my cool hat and I'm up here talking about why I was called back, and it was kind of an emotional moment. But the Camino itself, and you've seen this sign on my videos, goes this way. Where these things and more are cancer walkers. That's a weird name for them. Cancer walkers! Cancer walkers are walking along that path. Turns out they're heading to the neighborhood where Jose's office is. I was just there Friday and it's Sunday. This is Avenida de Sancho del Fuerte. Way off in the distance you can see a pilgrim in orange crossing. There was some just down that way. That's the way out of town. I do believe in my original Camino video I was walking on that side of the street. I was, in fact, walking on this side of the street because I saw the shells. That's what they look like, and I do recall that spot, which we're going to walk over to right now. And now we're at the edge of town, heading out. See the hills, the Spanish hills. Our route markers are over here. So this is the way we're going. Yes, this is here, and this is the way we walked. There are the shells. We cross the road under this overpass, and then the Camino goes down through that park. This is starting to feel familiar. I'll tell you what's super cool is this is the mountain where Alto del Pardon is. See the hills, the Spanish hills? See that up there? That's the mountain. We're still a ways away. It's the first time, I had no freaking idea. This is a really pretty park, but I don't remember any of this. I don't think I was taking any video because it was first day and I hadn't gotten my rhythm with this video camera yet. And I was getting tired already because my backpack was too heavy. It's starting to look familiar. I had no idea, but we were at the University of Navarra. I do remember this spot coming up. The Camino, of course, is this way. And then up this way. Oh, look. 2 kilometers to Cesar Menor. Fun. I went on to Google Maps and I typed in Camino de Santiago, and it asked me different villages and towns. So it said Camino de Santiago Pamplona, it took me to this roundabout here. So then I typed in the next village. Actually, it's 2 villages combined. Gave me a spot, and we're gonna walk there from here. So let's go that way. We are officially leaving Pamplona. I remember this little path that goes off on the side of the road. Maybe I have video of it. Crossing this bridge up here. I remember crossing this little bridge, the highway over there. And I do believe there was a path that way, maybe not. Anyway, we're now going off on a dirt trail. Oh yeah, there you go. Over there, that's Parañain. That is a suburb of Pamplona, I guess you'd call it. That's where I live with my wife, the lovely Lauren. Those little houses on the top, that's Ziza Menor. It does look like we have some road construction here. Fear not, if you're a peregrino, you can still walk this way. It was somewhere along here that I realized my pack was too heavy and that at some point I'd have to stop at a post office or a correo. I've already figured I'm gonna have to go stop at a correo and mail a few items on ahead. I sent the big suitcase yesterday, but even so, the pack is still a little heavy, or I'm a little weighted down with gear that's a little heavy. You're gonna see a lot of that clip in other videos because the whole process of getting rid of shit so we could move to Spain was like emptying that backpack when I got to Estella. We're crossing a bridge now under construction. Over there you can see there is a little walkway for peatones. Say goodbye to beautiful Pamplona. The Camino is that way. Now keep in mind, I didn't start in Saint-Jean 2021. I started in Pamplona. I had not done any steep climbing yet. When I got up into Ziza Menor, I was sort of whining about it. That hill, not super steep, but it's steady. So it's kind of brutal coming in. It's really a big nothing burger now. It's a really cool town. Those are all the cool things you miss if you're just passing through. Again, this climb is a big nothing burger compared to what's to come. Here's where I stood and whined about that incline. Kind of a moment of wussiness on my part. Now the Camino goes that way. My friend Jose, when he jogs, he always jogs up here and then he goes that way. Every day, he told me, that's his route every day. He goes up there, he turns there. This information is going to be important later, so let me set it up with a visual aid. First of all, this is Jose. This is his Instagram account. He's an avid hiker, Camino enthusiast. He has a business, a nonprofit where he helps people with PTSD to walk the Camino. Anyway, I met him through Instagram. When I arrived in Pamplona, he gave me a quick tour. So this is what I was just saying, and it's very important. Here is the Camino as it passes through Ziza Menor. Jose jogs around Pamplona every day, and his typical route is to come up and follow the Camino, then split off right here, go into Ziza Menor, come down the hill, and come back around on the north side of Pamplona. But for some reason on that day, September 18th, 2021, when Jose arrived at the crossroads, something told him to go on instead of to turn right. The first stone Camino marker I saw, this got me rather excited. We're getting off the main road and we have our first Camino marker. I don't remember that marker. I think I missed it. I think I had to go by this here. You know what's weird? It was over 3 years ago, and in my memory, I do not remember this Camino marker. My memory has always been that it was this arrow pointed here that I just happened to spy that kept me on the right track. I just always assumed there was never a Camino marker there. Well, let's look at the tape. You have to be alert and looking for everything. There it is right there, and it's crazy because I do not remember a marker there. I remember arriving and thinking, where's the marker? And just happening to see the painted arrow on that little post. While this looked like a Camino road, I was looking for a marker or a sign. I didn't realize that we have just yellow arrows pointed here. And this is what blows my mind. The camera is literally trained on that Camino marker, but all I'm seeing is the yellow arrow. That's all I could see back then, and in my memory and in my mind's eye, there was no Camino marker there. But clearly, the video proves that, I had built a scotoma to that particular marker. My reticular activating system wasn't seeing it. Sometimes you just got to be aware of those. So you have to really be alert. I almost turned around and went back up the hill, and that would have not been very fun. I'm loath to be cruel to myself. I want to say I was a dumbass that day, but this is an example of how sometimes we can't even see the very things we're looking for, and we don't even remember when we look right at them. We can't really trust our own senses. Anyway, to give you a little perspective, Zizor is kind of like a big mitten down here, so that's Ziza Menor. We crossed this little field here, and over there is Ziza Mayor. You may have seen pictures of this walk. Ziza Menor, Ziza Mayor. Over there is kind of where it curves around. By this time in 2021, I was already getting exhausted, starting to question my choice. I remember walking through here with no real context of where I was or the significance, just looking for little things like that shell over there. Little messages like this. Oh, look. Another Camino marker. And then I'm walking along here and I'm thinking, 700 kilometers? I had no idea that the mountain in front of me led to Alto del Perdón. I didn't even know what Alto del Perdón is. I didn't realize it was that cool place from the movies. All I knew is I'm walking along a street with Camino markers on the ground, wondering what the hell I'm doing. And I'm tired already, and my pack is too heavy. And 700 kilometers. That's how long I planned on walking. And I'm like, what the hell? Are you crazy? Are you an idiot? Give up. Tap out. Do it now. Fly down to Nice and spend your next 5 weeks there with your friends. And I remember where I stopped because I've gone and looked at the whole video. I stopped right here, next to this fence, with these things behind me. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm done. I'm tapping out. Hit my first wall just a minute ago. I started to look at the magnitude of what's ahead of me and thought, are you crazy? You want to spend the next 5 weeks doing this shit? And then this jogger runs past me, and he goes about that far and turns around. And then all of a sudden this jogger comes by, and it's Jose. And who should it be but my friend Jose? It's Jose. Jose, who I only knew through Instagram until the day before, September 17th, 2021. When I arrived in Pamplona, he saw it on Instagram and offered to show me around. That's when that friendship began. He's just jogging down here. This Buen Camino gives me a little encouragement and goes on. Jose, who on that day, September 18th, and that day only, decided to change his jogging route and come up this way instead of turn right back there at that roundabout. And he said, I had never done that before, and I have never done it since. But on one day, the day I needed to see a friendly face, a face that encouraged me to go on, that day, he was here. Camino provides. When I tapped Camino de Santiago into Google Maps and then said Camino de Santiago, Ziza Mayor, that is the exact geographical location that it directed me to. That's the spot. That is... And that was my real first baseline on the Field of Dreams. That was the real spot where I stepped off and stopped becoming Moonlight Graham and turned into Dog Graham. 4 miles in thinking, what the hell am I doing? Am I insane? And then I get a Camino Angel. I was walking along there wondering if I would get a chance to inspire somebody to move on. I hope I get strong enough I can be a Camino Angel. And I did.
Don't let me hear you say life's taking you nowhere.